Hi guys, apparently there's a 10th mission to the Mechanic campaign. Mechanical Plague of the Zeji Total Conversion created by RazorClawX. D. It's called Cancer. Let's go. Zeji space platform. With the defeat of Talos' army at Kunai, the Mechanic Alliance scores another significant victory. However, unknown to them, the three heads of the Zeji decide to attack Hysteria instead of aid Talos in defending Kunai. The Drakmarim, a proud member of the aligned peoples, are all that stand in the way of the Zeji Armada. Although they are powerful, the odds are against them. Maybe this is just like an outro or something as opposed to being an actual playable mission. I suppose we'll find out. Observe the vision. Why was there text epilogue anyways? Once again, this galaxy is thrown into turmoil. This time, a threat from beyond the stars. A menace, the likes of which this galaxy has never seen in its long history. Maybe they destroyed like 2 units. So that was pretty menacing, I guess. Simple in structure, but complex in function. The Mechanic Alliance proved that they are no simple machine, despite their cheap build. They have something the other robots lack. A soul. LOL. They have allied themselves with organic beings. They, too, share the same designs as the Mechanic. And for what end, it is unknown, but the Mechanic are like locusts, moving from planet to planet, stripping them of natural resources. Wow, this is more characterization of the Mechanic than we've gotten while playing the entire Mechanic campaign. It's pretty crazy.
Nuclear launch detected.
No matter what they're up to, they cannot be allowed to traverse to the Cthulhu sector. The Protoss, Terrans, and Zerg alone are not enough to combat this menace. What? Why did some of the units just... Oh, okay. Reasonable. Only we stand between our people and the Mechanic Hive entire. Let the war begin! ... exclamation point. Okay, bye. See you later, bye! What the fuck is wrong with this? Oh, boy. Oh, boyo. Well... That was the Zeji Total Conversion. Epilogue. With Talos' death and the advanced Zeji force sent out by Kabbalah was systematically crushed. Zax's Cerberus returned to report the Storm Riders' failure. Barely defeating the Zeji Armada, the Mechanic forces at Hysteria withdraw and begin to rebuild their forces for the coming conflict. The Metora under Savant disappear once again, vanishing into the shadow from which they came, while the Reptiloids from Mapster and the Wyker continue to bicker. Their mutual respect for the Regent Director keeps them in line. Contemplating the turn of events, Kabbalah returns to his Zeji fortress and looks to his allies, Zax, Atlas, Dagoth, Amu Kasir. Wait, why the fuck Dagoth was here? And Kura Dora, and wonders if, perhaps, the universe still had a place for such a thing as the Black Dream. He could only wonder what the future would bring to the Zeji Armada. When the time came, Kabbalah intended to be prepared nonetheless. Zeji Conversion, hosted by Campaign Creations. Not anymore! It's a fucking dead website! It's been down for 3 years! The sale, rent, lease, or resale of this conversion is forbidden. If you paid for this product, you were ripped off. I played it for free and I was ripped off. Zeji units came from Wing Commander Prophecy, Diablo, and Hellfire. Mechanic units were all by RazorClaw, and it showed. So somebody, I think it was Hoopthrower, was asking where some of the unit graphics came from, and whether or not some of them came from... Voltron, the Third Dimension, Jesus Christ. Whether or not some of them came from, what's it called? Diablo. And yes, it seems that they did. Special thanks to somebody named Zax the Defiler. He's actually here as a unit, so LOL. Alright, well, I guess that was everything. You forever. Many Bothans died in the creation of this conversion. Don't know what a Bothan is. Tony J! Burrito! So do not let their deaths be in vain. Holy shit, Tony J, that's psychotic. Credits for Rude War. What? Why am I... Listen, don't Bill Roper me. Get me out of here. Alright, well that was the Zeji Total Conversion properly. There is an anime map, so stay tuned for that. My final thoughts on the project, because the anime map is very much a bonus map, has really nothing to do with like the overall production, I don't think. Yeah, I don't really know what to say, honestly. The Zeji Total Conversion, I remember being a lot more complete and a lot less buggy, a lot more competently assembled than it actually was, it seems. And of course, I hadn't played it in over a decade, so it makes sense that, you know, me from back then would have no real knowledge of what the fuck was going on. But still, I suppose hats off to RazorClawX for actually making campaigns in the first place. There's plenty of people who didn't do that, but thankfully the bar of quality is now higher, I think, in the modern era. So hopefully people are a little bit more like campaign designers, especially for the maps. But also I think modders who want to actually create total conversions, create custom factions, hopefully they are able to easily grab something from this total conversion and see like, okay, well, this could have been implemented better, or this was faulty because of X or Y reason. Definitely didn't feel like there's a whole lot of essence attached to any of the core factions, like or any of their units. The mechanic campaign tried a little bit more with that, with the campaign actually like expositing information on where the origin point of the mechanic were, or the origin of some of the races, or the aligned peoples or whatever. But at the end of the day, I mean, still not a whole lot of identity that came across in the gameplay itself. And that is a big problem in a game, right? Because your game should be enough of a storyteller, I think, in many respects. But unfortunately, there really wasn't a whole lot of, like, nothing really stood out to me as unique. Maybe, I guess the Blade Master, some of the Reptiloid units in general were interesting, like the Shrieking Tank thing. The Sonic Blade or whatever. That was kind of interesting, which I think that was supposed to be a Reptiloid. Or was supposed to be a Wyker, I guess, so maybe not. But I thought that the Wraith replacement would have been more interesting if it was just an anti-air unit, or if its anti-ground attack was not literally the Wraith ground attack, and if it didn't cloak but had a different sort of unit behavior. Generally speaking, I feel like a lot of the attempts to really diversify the palette, like the Mechalisk or whatever, I mean, it was fundamentally infuriating to play against. And when you used it, you didn't really feel like you were very accomplished, but you certainly won because it was a very busted unit. So there's like weird cases like that where it definitely could have been improved balance-wise. But I thought that the identity of the Mechalisk as this, expensive AoE unit that's pretty resilient, I mean, it has too many strengths, but the idea that it's a Confederate experiment or something is the subtext of it, I assume, because Atlas is the leader of the remnants of the Confederacy, and the Zerg are aligned with the Zeji in some way. So, it makes sense to some degree that there would be some element of that, but I thought that was interesting. Is at the very least very different than a Dragoon, right? So I appreciated that. I think maybe it probably shouldn't have had an anti-air attack, as an example, or if it did have an anti-air attack, it probably should have been a little bit different in some capacity. But anyways, besides my individual balance notes, I just wanted to say that there are some interesting concepts for units or whatever. Just none of them really. I didn't feel like a whole lot of them soared through, and now I'm getting arrested for my opinion. So I will see you guys in the anime level, and then we will move on to some other campaign. I don't know yet, but yeah, stay tuned for that. And thanks again to RazorClaw for making it, even though it was an anime.